This is Ashley with Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 21 saddest anime deaths of each year.
あばよ、ダチコ。
もう死んだよ。
For this list, we'll be looking at the most harrowing anime deaths of each year, starting from 2000 all the way to 2020. Prepare yourselves for sorrow and spoilers ahead. Is there an anime demise that you're still not over? Let us know in those comments below. And as always, you can catch me on Twitter at AshJBo, so head over there, give me a follow, and let me know which anime list you want to see next. 2000, Belmere, One Piece. There have been no shortage of deaths across this shonen powerhouse, each one lending itself to plenty of tears, one of the earliest examples being Nami's mother figure. After Arlong and his fishmen lay siege, they demand tribute, and those unable to pay end up buried. Despite putting up one hell of a fight, Belmere willingly gives her life just so her adopted daughters can afford to live under Arlong's rule. It's a truly haunting moment, one that would serve as the first of many as One Piece moved forward. 2001, Leomon, Digimon Tamers. When you think of the digital monsters, horrifying death scenes don't normally spring to mind. Well, that all changed with Tamers.
I don't know who you are, but I do know you're being used.
As per tradition, Leomon once again ends up meeting a grisly fate. Though in this instance, it's when he tries to protect the Tamers from the wrathful and misguided Beelzemon, who spears him through the gut, leading to a rather swift deletion. While his parting words are filled with comfort, this sudden and brutal end was the tipping point for what we like to call the Jerry Trauma Variety Hour.
Be brave, Jerry. Part of me will always be with you. Remember, you have a lion's heart.
2002, Chiyo Fujiwara, Millennium Actress. A career defined by magnificent roles and crushing depression. Through the eyes of two documentary filmmakers, we see the life of this aspiring actress from start to finish, all the while her own life is interwoven between the scenes. All throughout her twisted tale, we see how, above all else, she yearned to be reunited with an unnamed artist.
Go after him, and I'm sure that this time, you will find him.
To have so many accomplished roles under her belt, survive both wars and the film industry, only to pass due to her frail health, will have you welling up by the end.
Because after all, it's the chase that I really love.
2003, Zabaza and Haku, Naruto. One of the greatest villains in Naruto's entire canon, a swordsman feared far and wide for his murderous ways, and yet was given one of the saddest goodbyes. Following on from Haku's death and his battle with Kakashi, Zabaza is left emotionally broken, physically crippled, and betrayed by his employer. So, does he lay down and accept defeat? Well, of course not. Even without the use of his arms, he slaughters his way through a whole group of mercs, ending the crony who turned on him before spending the last few moments of life saying his farewells to his only friend. 2004, Maze Hughes, Full Metal Alchemist. While it was revisited and recaptured brilliantly in Brotherhood, Maze Hughes' murder and subsequent funeral remains at the most potent in the original series. Much to everyone's shock and horror, the resident jokester of Central finds himself under assault from the homunculi.
That's an amazing talent.
Despite his skills, Hughes is in no way prepared for Envy's shape-shifting abilities and is shot down. If that's not painful enough, watching his family break down as he's put in the ground is sure to push you over the edge.
You're right, Hughes. Maybe this is a more fitting end.
2005, Reinforce. Magical girl lyrical Nanoha A's. As the vessel for the Book of Darkness, Reinforce was a lean, mean, virus-possessed machine, one capable of dishing out major damage, even to beasts like Nanoha and Fate.
感謝している。だから最後は、お前たちに私を閉じてほしい。
However, after finally being brought to her senses, she decides the only way to ensure the Book of Darkness never hurts anyone again is to self-destruct then and there.
大丈夫です。私はもう世界で一番幸福な魔導書ですから。
While her partner Hayate does everything possible to save her, Reinforce remains resolute in her decision, going out with a bang and ensuring a future for her fellow magical girls.
ありがとう。そしてさようなら。
2006, Naomi Misora, Death Note. Misa may have been a victim of Light's manipulation, but she wasn't the first lady in his life whose future he destroyed. That honor belongs to this detective, whose sharp instincts and desire for revenge after her husband was killed by Kira put her squarely in Light's crosshairs.
落ち着け。たかが名前を確認するだけじゃないか。ハンドバッグ、ポケット。
While their confrontation appeared to have the god of the new world dead to rights, Light's silver tongue eventually caused her to slip up and reveal her name.
キラだから。
Which, as we all know, is all that's needed for him to unleash the power of the Death Note.
何もお話しすることはありません。
さようなら、美空直美さん。
2007, Kamina, Gurren Lagann. The man may have held no love for shirts, but with his blinding charisma and hilarious sense of machismo, Kamina enraptured everyone right from the get-go.
10倍返した。戻ったら10倍返した。覚えとけよ。
A rebellious spirit that briefly became the face of the human resistance against the Beastmen oppression, he had all the makings of a main character. And then, 8 episodes later, he was gone.
あばよ。立ちこう。
His departure was as sudden as it was shocking, and while it allowed for Simon to come into his own as a protagonist, there was no replacing the mesmerizing magnetism of Kamina. The goofball was in a league of his own.
その日、俺たちはかけがえのないものを失った。
2008, Lelouch v Britannia. Code Geass Lelouch of the Rebellion R2. His mission was to bring about peace and topple the oppressive regime instilled by his own family, and all it cost him was his name and his life.
ゼロ
ゼロ
ゼロって
嘘ルルーシュはあそこに
Gifted with the mind-controlling power of the Geass and the desire to make a real change, Lelouch committed many atrocious acts for the greater good, and in doing so became one of anime's most complex and defining anti-heroes. To both atone and make his dream of unity a reality, Lelouch pulled the wool over everyone's eyes, presenting himself as the ultimate tyrant to unite everyone against him before staging his own assassination. 2009, Jiraiya Naruto Shippuden. Sure, he was a bit on the pervy side, but over time, the legendary ninja and part-time smutty author became a wholly endearing character all his own.
冗談だ冗談お前には感謝してる
A father figure, regular source of comedy, and an underrated badass of a shinobi, he willingly put his life on the line when he departed to uncover the identity of the Akatsuki's leader and defeat them. While he discovered the truth about pain, not even his sage mode was enough to hold up against the power of the Rinnegan.
遅かったな気づくのが
He may have lived his life as a fool, but Jiraiya's unflinching determination right up until the end proved he possessed a gallant soul.
ナルト
予言の子は間違いなくお前だ。あとは全て託すぞ。
2010, Van Hohenheim, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. He may have passed away with a smile on his face, but that didn't stop this moment from being utterly devastating.
ただいま、トリシャ。
And that's saying a lot as far as Brotherhood is concerned. In the wake of the battle against Father and the Homunculi, Hohenheim's immortal life starts to come to an end.
でも、やっぱり死にたくねえって思っちゃうな。
Content that he was finally able to make amends with Edward and Alphonse, the father of the Elrics chooses to die before the grave of his beloved Trisha, finally at peace after centuries of regret.
なんて幸せそうな顔して死んでんだい。やっと見つけた。
2011, Portgas D Ace, One Piece. Some One Piece deaths hit harder than others, but none of them can truly compare to the harrowing moment that Luffy's beloved brother was snatched away. In spite of all the efforts taken to save him from execution at the hands of the Marines, Luffy can do nothing but watch as Ace leaps in the way of an attack meant for him. To this day, the image of a magma-coated fist tearing through Ace's torso is still, not quite literally, burned into our minds. 2012, Rider, FateZero. No one walked away from the Fourth Holy Grail War without scars, and while Saber and Kiritsugu's endings were truly mortifying, nothing compared to the pain we felt as we watched Rider fade away. In spite of his monumental noble phantasm, not even this guy can overcome Gilgamesh and his treasury of divine weapons. Refusing to retreat, he rides into battle one last time, earning the respect of all, even as he was sliced down by the archer class.
まったく貴様、次から次へと珍妙なものを。
He's the only heroic spirit we'd happily follow into battle.
この胸の高鳴りこそが、オケアノスの使用罪だったのだ。
2013, Caesar Zappelli, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The Italian stallion was many things, a lover of ladies, a maker of bubbles, and the best bro a Joestar could ask for. While he and Joseph most certainly started off on the wrong foot, by the time they were battling against the Pillarmen, the grandson of Baron Zappelli had become a steadfast friend.
昼間決戦を挑むというなら、俺も一緒に乗り込むぜ。シーザーセベリ。
Alas, he was just too fabulous for this world, as his fight with Wamuu ended with him being crushed under a stolen cross. The only thing remaining being his bandana, the last of his Haman, and his will for Joseph to carry on the fight. 2014, Marowam Hunter. As king of the Chimera Ants, Marowam was introduced to us as a living weapon whose only goals were the survival of his species, which happened to coincide with the destruction of the human race.
こうか。
お見事。
That all changed when Komugi entered his life, slowly changing his perspective on life and instilling a sense of compassion inside him.
私がこんなに幸せでいいのでしょうか?
After his body is corrupted by poison following his fight with Netero, Marowam chooses to spend his final moments playing Gungi with his friend, his life slowly slipping away before dying in Komugi's arms. It's so powerful, it will make you forget this guy was the big bad for the longest time.
おやすみなさい。メルエム。
2015, Kaori, Your Lie in April. While we had all hoped this symphony would conclude on a happy note, we were instead given one that, while fitting, was also bittersweet. All throughout the series, we had seen Kosei and Kaori's relationship develop from childish spats to pure, unfiltered romance. The only step left to take being that pesky little confession.
私を見て。顔を上げて。私を見て。
With Kaori undergoing surgery and Kosei set to perform, it seemed it was only a matter of time before the two would wind up together. That is, until we see a spectral image of Kaori performing alongside Kosei during the performance's climax, indicating the operation has failed and that she had lost her life. 2016, Korosensei, Assassination Classroom. Well, they finally did it. Class E completed their mission to end the life of the monstrous creature they had come to know as their teacher. And it's heartbreaking.
Such a beautiful gift. I hope against hope I've been worthy of it.
Despite the frequent assassination attempts, Korosensei, with his various tentacles and life lessons, had become a vital figure in his students' lives. Not only had he helped them grow as people, but stood up for them when no one else would. Naturally, having to stab such an important role model is more than Nagisa can take, but as always, their teacher is there to help guide them through the end. 2017, Meaty, Made in Abyss. After cruel experimentation transformed her into a blob of sentient, distorted flesh, ending Meaty's life could be viewed as a kindness, one that would spare her the misery of an endless existence in such a horrific form. That didn't make her departure any less brutal to watch though. With Reg's incinerator the only thing capable of putting her to rest, all Nanachi can do is bid their friend farewell before watching her go up in flames before their eyes. Yeah, this one hurts. Damn you, Bondrude. (2018) Shizuei. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. There have been a great many ladies in the life of Rimuru ever since he became an unstoppable slime, but none hold a more vital place in his heart than Shizuei. Well, technically, she has a place inside his void of a belly, but that's beside the point. Much like Rimuru, Shizuei was abruptly snatched from her own world, forced to become a vessel for a monster, and over time, had her life force drastically drained. Instead of passing away into nothingness, Rimuru decides to grant her everlasting peace by sealing her away inside him at the moment of death, granting her the chance to live out her stolen childhood. 2019, Erwin Smith, Attack on Titan. All his life, this man kept those behind the walls safe by leading the Survey Corps to hell and back. His methods may have called for immense sacrifices, but no one could deny Commander Ewan always held the good of humanity above all else, and wouldn't hesitate to throw himself into danger to see his plan through to the end. Unfortunately, his plan to eliminate the Beast Titan required him to do just that, leading to himself and the rest of the recruits being obliterated by Zeke's throwing arm. Even when there was a chance to bring him back, with Titan Serum, Ewan's dying words, for better or worse, sealed his fate. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. 2020, Sir Night-Eye, My Hero Academia. Despite such a late introduction, All Might's former sidekick made one hell of an impact. Serving as the no-nonsense mentor tasked with bringing down the superpowered gangster Overhaul, Night-Eye was a firm believer in the future being set in stone, that Deku was unworthy of One for All, and that he had all but severed his ties to the world's greatest hero. However, following the horrific wounds he suffered during the battle, Night-Eye chose to make peace, using his final moments to express his joy that the future had been changed. and that his beloved student Mirio would go on to become a splendid hero. But which anime death do you think is the saddest? Let me know on my Twitter at AshJpo.